Greetings, guys. It's Fancy, and today I am going live with vlog 7 of my Finding Fancy journey, which I have been I haven't vlogged in a while. Actually, it looks like it's been about a month as I was looking at my live videos list. But I've actually been adjusting to school. For those who don't know, I did mention it in my last vlog that I had re-enrolled in school. So, um, really, it's like that has been taking up a lot of my time um, because I'm taking a math and I'm not really strong at math. Like my other class, I just kind of keep track of when the assignments are due, and then I just complete them by the deadline or whatever and keep it moving. But I'm actually enjoying both classes because this time around, look, I wasn't even supposed to be going into all of this, but this time around, like when it seems like when we were in school, because I'm 37, so in my younger days in school, oftentimes we get these math problems and then we'd be like, how do we ever apply this in real life? And that is something that I seriously struggle with as a young adult because I never understood the fact that we were supposed to apply this stuff like in real life later on. I never expected to, but then like in college it was kind of like, okay, this isn't making sense, why do I need to know this? But now that I'm back in school, it's like, okay, you know what, I do need to know how much of this concentration I need for transmission fluid or whatever, because that's kind of like how they're setting the problems up. Hey, Anya. So that has kind of like made me rethink some things. But I'm also enjoying the African Americans in the media class because I'm learning so much like knowledge just about Black people that were in the media. It started out talking about the magazines, and then we talked about film, and then we just finished talking about radio. And it was like all of this was just new to me. We, even though I was a mass comm major, we didn't really tap into any of this because we were more so focused on the public relations side of things. And I guess that just, I don't know. So now that we have these other classes that we have to take, then I'm really enjoying learning about that. And it's like giving me ideas. And then also, we're seeing models that work for people before in the past or what didn't work, or you can also look at that and then be able to say, hey, this is 2022. I can possibly do blah, blah, blah. So that's like I said, has been taking up a lot of my time though. But other than that, as far as I think I'm about at like day last week. I thought I said I was like at day 68 into this journey. So I think now I might be like at day 75 or something. Just adding on 7 days. But it has been it's been quite the journey. Initially I said before, and I probably even said again in the second video, and so now I'm saying it the third time because I was so like upset, and then also just and I was upset because I thought, or I don't know if upset is the best word, but I was kind of like disappointed because I thought this was going to be much easier. So I was also frustrated. It was like a mixture of emotions. But now I'm looking at like, whereas it seems like I was just losing so many things. Like I said, okay, I lost 10 pounds, which was a good thing throughout. I lost 10 pounds like last month, and it seems like I've kind of been staying there, and I'm trying my hardest to actually stay there because I have been trying to lose that weight since forever, but I didn't lose it really like in a good way. Although I have been walking, I think a big part of that was stress because I'm like, I have been walking for some time, and I was never losing it before. But at the same time, I also increased. Like normally I would walk just a mile a day, and now I do 2 miles a day. I don't really think I have time for three, but if I can get faster or something. But normally I'll stretch once I get out there, and that kind of takes some of my time as well. But that has also been another part of this 90-day journey for me because I have been getting more into fitness. I'm not hollering about to be like no fitness expert or anything like that, but but I have just began working out more, like doing yoga by myself at home. I might do that in the evening time where it's like I'm walking normally in the morning, and I don't walk every day because like even last week I was kind of upset with myself because I had been kind of like I don't know if I share with you all, but the online the online editor actually quit about 2 weeks ago. And so yeah, and I hadn't done a live in between that time. But with her being gone, it's just been like a lot of, a lot more work for me to do because I have to make certain all the day-to-day stuff is taken care of. With all that being said, it's like I get up in the morning and I'm really working on having a routine. I even downloaded this app called I think it's called Productive, and it's like supposed to help you, like set reminders kind of for yourself, but it's kind of like goals as opposed to it being reminders in different categories. And I have the free version, but I really want to get the upgraded version because it allows you to add other things that you like to add to your list. Yeah. Um, well, I don't even know. Oh, I did tell you that though, Anya. And I'm wondering at first what you were saying about you didn't know, but yeah, I did tell you that. I thought, but so anyway, I just been kind of trying to make certain that I have been doing those things. Like one of the things I have is journaling each morning. Prayer isn't one of the options that's listed as a free option, but that is something I try to do every morning. Writing my affirmations is one of the things that I have listed because I try to write affirmations every, even if I don't work out, I'll try to make certain I do this stuff, and then sometimes I try to make certain that I do that stuff, and then I go into my work mode, and that means I'm not going with the whole ritual, but I'm getting some of the things done because I feel like an actual morning ritual for me would definitely include me being able to walk. But I still don't know if I do that every day. But I guess, but it's still part of my morning routine. So I'm trying to get used to that, as well as just making certain that I'm taking my medication at the same time every day. Um, and because my medication makes me hungry, that's kind of been one thing I've kind of been worried about because I'm like, okay, I lost this weight and I really want to keep it off. But then at the same time, I feel like I'm eating more, but I'm also walking more. So I'm hoping that that balances out. That wasn't initially how I set it up, but why I set it up that way. But I did think about that. So I'm hoping that that part balances out and it's not, like I don't gain even more weight because I can't take that medication and then just go about my day. Like it'll make my head start to hurt really bad. So I have to make sure that I eat something with those that I take. So, so all that being said, but that is a part of my morning ritual as well. Just so I'm just sharing, about that part. Um, but with all that being said, so I hadn't been able to just get a lot of things done, as I've said. But so that was kind of like a loss because I think I was kind of going through the wins and the losses. So her leaving though was a loss for me, but at the same time, like it kind of gave me some room to breathe because that was one less person I didn't have to pay, and I was thankful for that little time. But at the same time, like I said, I had to get back into the day-to-day stuff. So that has been having me really busy. But at the same time, I've lost some clients. And I kind of shared about this part on Instagram. And actually, like I had never just like I've lost clients before, but not it was different. I don't know. I think because why? Because usually Jarmel, who's our VP of marketing, handles all of the clients as they would come in like before. And that was before we were offering more PR services. And now that we're offering those services, I have to work with them more myself, for those that are actually actively seeking, press. Um, so I think that's why maybe it felt a little bit more personal to me losing these clients, but at the same time, it was like such a relief, because it ended up being two people. And with both of those people, it was like they were their own type of stress, just being honest. Um, but at the same time, like I'm one of those people that works well under pressure normally. Like that's kind of like what gets me going, but I actually hate that, because it's so exhausting, really. But at the same time, I think I have been doing, good with them. I know that I have been really giving a lot to their projects. And with one, it was just like, it was so crazy, y'all. I've never had, like, I've booked clients for interviews before, and then something might happen and they can't make it. That makes sense, right? But not you know that you don't want to do this interview and then show up for the interview instead of telling me, hey, I don't want to do this or whatever. But then you tell the people, oh, well, she know I don't like doing these type of interviews, da, da, da. Like, and you never once said to me, hey, I don't want to do this. When I specifically came to you before agreeing to do this interview. So that was like, I never had anything like that happen before. And I pray that that's the last time that it happens. And moving forward, like even in my agreements, I'm gonna make certain that I include those sort of things, because it was annoying and I was so pissed off, really. But that was kind of one thing that I also learned. It gave me some more insight into like how to revamp my contracts, right? And then with the other client, it was like I was getting placement for her, and she did not appreciate it because she wanted sales. That's really what it boiled down to. And I was like, okay, my thing is more so handling your relationship with the public. Of course, we do market your business as well, but you have to know how, like, and it is something that I will work with you on, but you have to know how to match your marketing and your public relations, and it was a learning experience for me too, because like normally I'm used to dealing with small business owners. Of course, oftentimes those are the people that, they might be solopreneurs or whatever. They don't have anybody else working with them. They don't have a team. But usually, oftentimes, most of them do have other jobs, but then they'll still make time to, get the interviews done. And then they would appreciate the interviews, for one, and that really made me realize, and two, how to like better explain it within client expectations for hiring me. That's one thing that I like to make certain that it's clear. So that's the second thing that I learned after losing a client. I might need to write a blog about this. And then also um it was something else I was gonna say that I learned, or I don't know, but also from that, because I look at too, like those clients came in at a certain price, right? And one of them ended up having something happen, and then she couldn't pay that price anymore. So she was already paying something even less than that. The other one, she just came in like at a discounted price because we were in the same membership or whatever. But then I look at too, like I feel like they did not appreciate my work. And because of that, for one, like who wants to work with someone if they don't appreciate what they're doing for them, if they don't see the value in what they're doing? And I get excited when I get placements for my clients, so to have gotten this placement for you. And then that was another thing too. And that kind of goes between both of them, like the potential of ruining a relationship that I have with a fellow publisher, or a journalist, because you're either showing up for the interview and then telling the people that you don't want to do the interview, or two, um not sharing the content, not sharing the placement, not mentioning those people, not showing like that public appreciation that most people would expect. That's part of what is, just from a journalist standpoint. Of course, we love when people share our articles that we've wrote about them, as opposed to those people that get the article done, don't say anything. Nobody wants to work with those people again, So that was another thing that occurred. And I was just like, so those the three things I've learned so far with it, with the whole loss of clients. But then again, there was like this freedom, because now I can bring in people who pay full price, who actually understand what it is that I do and understand how that can help their business. And they have some type of idea about how they want to go about it. Those are some things that, those were some positives from that situation. And what I'm trying to do still is tell you all, like, because it's been so much to occur, but just little things, some things were good, and then some things, like were really good. And then there were other things that were, while they seemed like when they were occurring, that they were bad things, or I go into the oh my God, why me type of thing. But um later on, I realized that I'm benefiting from those things. And even I looked at the fact that I said I wasn't going to be dating. I'm not dating anybody. I do still kind of talk to people randomly via chats. That has not just, it's definitely not, I wouldn't say it's not going anywhere, but it's just not, like, and I'm like, I'm getting to the point where it's now I no longer expect anyone to call my phone so I can go places without feeling so attached to my phone. Like I can go take a shower and leave the phone in the other room because now, hey, you already know anybody calling you. And it's actually a good thing, like, because especially after certain times of the day, I don't really want to be bothered. Now, it kind of depends on who the person is, and I'll talk to them. But as far as just like something I'm going to have to give a lot of thought to, after 5 or 6, I really don't be wanting to do that. But I know we live in a much faster paced time, so sometimes I still do have to do that, but it's just not necessarily what I would like to be doing. But I say all that to say that ain't nobody hit me on the chat that has we've even gotten to that type of level or anything. But also just there's supposed to be no dating. I really need to check my finances. Like I'm checking them, but I haven't just set and did like monthly totals or anything like that. I've just more so just kind of been adding stuff in, but it hasn't been a lot because this has been a really slow period of business. And it's like, whereas I said I have to take care of the day-to-day stuff, I mean, I still have to take care of the clients that we do have. I still have to make certain that the website has new content. I had to cut my social media manager hours, so that means I hop on the social media at the end of the week, but she's actually coming back full time next week. So, well, not full time, but her regular hours next week. So that will help to eliminate some things. So it was, as you all can see, like it was like every time something was kind of removed, something else was replaced at the same time. So it wasn't all bad. Um, and I am grateful for that. A part of me wonders, like, okay, because this has been a very, I don't know why the word humbling comes to mind. And then I kind of wonder, like, okay, what was humbling about it? But I had to be very uncomfortable. And again, as I've said before, I really wasn't expecting this type of discomfort. I was expecting, like little things, but things that you can just kind of, for the day, it might matter to you, but the next day it doesn't. But as I've kind of been going through this time, it's like I feel, how do I put it? Like things are beginning to matter less, like because I really work at remaining calm. Of course, being on my meds helps with that a lot, but also just not working, like a lot of things I just, it's not that I'm not noticing it, but I'm just not choosing to give my energy to it. And with that, again, I'm more so at peace. And it reminds me, just even saying that, of how my new favorite song is now Drake's Fair Trade. Because initially, when I listened to that song, I was like, everybody, when songs come out, everybody posts the lyrics kind of in some form of fashion or something. And oftentimes I'd be like, I don't know if that apply to me. And I had really felt that way when that song came out because I was like, I have few friends. I hate to lose those. So, that's not something I'm going to sing. But in my mind, when I do sing it now, I say people because most of these people were not just, you know, I'm very cautious about how I use the word friend because I know not everybody, you know, is a friend. Because I used to be like, oh, I know so and so from online, that's a friend. And then I realized, like, well, you could never really call so and so from online if so and so happened. And that kind of changed my perspective as well as just, just being more mindful of the words that I use. So, look, I am not expecting to be in 19 minutes, but here we are. But these are just some of the things that have, the thoughts that I've had throughout this time. I guess you could say in some ways some of the growth that I've been experiencing, though it hasn't been monetarily, um, has been monetary growth. But I know that that's coming. So with that being said, like I know I'm not gonna, unless some other miracle happens in between now, and I know one miracle is gonna happen. I mean, like I don't know if I could call it a miracle, but I know what I'm expecting, and so that's like a big part of my goal of the goal amount that I said of the 60K. But at the same time, like I was hoping that I would also have some other blessings along the way, and then that would help me to equal the 60K. And I really haven't just had those. Like that would have been like new clients coming in. Um, but again, I'm okay with that because even one thing I keep meaning to say that I haven't said, with me having to go back to being more hands-on in the day-to-day of the business. Of course, now I'm seeing all the things that were being missed while, I was working on other stuff and, other aspects of the business. Um, and also just seeing how I like to revamp things, or how we could improve things. And one thing that I feel like possibly one of the biggest lessons that has transpired throughout these 90 days, is I feel like I'm getting my creativity back, because I told my daughter this and she was just like, man, it's a long time. But I was like, I really haven't feel like I've had my creativity for over a year. Um, yeah. I was thinking about it some more, just as even as I said it, because I was thinking about around the same time last year is when I entered into this partnership, a business partnership, and I remembered even then just kind of like not really having any direction or any idea of what I would like to do, and then I just kind of took off, but I was still moving really aimlessly, and I realized like that is not how I want to be moving forward with things. So I've really just been trying to think ahead of time, of what I need to be doing, all the things I need to take care of. I've been making my list, and just kind of coming up with some ideas, because I want, it's good to have my creativity back, because I mean when you're leading something, people are looking at you and expecting you to, come up with new stuff or have new ideas, or, like I'm one of those people. I know I don't like to get in, like, even though I just talked about my morning routine, that's probably why I'm just now really trying to get to routines, because I don't normally like routines. Like, I don't like for things to get routine. I don't like for people to get routine. So, or relationships for that matter. So, with that being said, though, I just, it's good to have my creativity back so that I can lead properly, but also so that I can, I don't know if lead is still the same way to put it, but just in order for me to be able to grow in business, like I can't be thinking just inside that box, because one thing someone said when I was interviewing him, he was like, okay, you're an entrepreneur, or you have a small business, you've just created a job for yourself. And because we were talking about, like, thinking long term and like legacies and things like that, and I was like, you know what, like that's really true, because as small business owners we do have to work so much, especially if you have a, fully operating business, which is what I do have, um because, and I said it just because I know, some people may not have to do as much because of the way they have things set up. They may not be working to their full capacity. For me, since this is all that I do, of course I'm trying to work it to my full capacity. And um I hate that I keep saying, I watched one of these things back and I realized that then, and I said I was going to work on it, but my train of thought, I just totally left me. But I'm not going to share that with y'all. Well, I was thinking also, even just throughout this time of my 90 days, I did stop smoking trees. I guess I put it that way. So that is a good thing. It has now been over a month, and I'm actually like, I'm kind of relieved that I was able to. I'm relieved, but I'm also shocked. Now I still have one other bad habit that I really would like to get rid of. I think I'm gonna get hypnotized to see if that helps or not. And I'll let y'all know how that go, because I know, like, I know when I was younger I would hear about people being hypnotized, but never, then as you get older it's like, hold up, let me see how much that costs, and it actually don't seem to cost all that much. So if I had come, if I had some money, where some people be talking about, well, it's much cheaper than like a BBL, but that would be something really on my list. But since I have to pay for it myself, I just have to pay for it myself. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I did go to Essence Festival. I shared a lot of that on my Instagram. Just different video clips and things like that. I did go alone, and I'm very proud of myself because I didn't think that I could do that. And then to do it for 3 days, and I'm not gonna lie, like with each day, it's like I made it there later and later. Like by the last day, y'all, I made it so late. But at the same time, I have been studying for a midterm and a test. So I have been doing it all throughout the day. Then, trying to take care of whatever stuff I need to do with the kids, or on Saturdays, I normally clean up the house, then get back to studying, then still try to make it to Essence Festival. But I did really enjoy it. I'll definitely be back next year. Next year, though, I really hope that somebody grants me a media pass. I'm saying this publicly in case anybody knows anybody, but also just because so that I can make certain that I do the work to make certain that I do get a media pass, because that would really help. That way, I don't have to do the driving back and forth, because I can put that money towards a hotel room ahead of time. Um, and also, just it would have been a lot better to have been closer to the stage to be able to see the acts and everything. But I did realize, like, I didn't even realize how good of a seat I had looked up on, but I really did. But the row in front of us would have been even better, because it was blocked off after that. Like the section in front of that section was blocked off. And so only like real VIPs could sit there or something. But it wasn't a lot of them. So for that reason, whenever people that people were really trying to see were on stage, they would come down and stand right there, like right at the beginning of the other section, which was the row right in front of us. So I even wrote down the row, the row, so that I put it in my notes. So next year when I'm ordering my tickets, I can remember to make certain, like if I do have to pay to go or whatever, then I'll get in that same section but a different row. So yeah. And trying to think if there's anything else, but I think that's really everything. I'm just looking forward. Like I've been doing a lot of reading. I've been reading Bell Hooks, Ain't I a Woman, and I'm really enjoying it. And the thing is, I'll start listening and then I fall asleep, so I have to keep going back because it's not that long of a book, but I just want to try to take in everything that she's saying. As she talks about Black women in slavery, and of course, Bell Hooks, I guess you say, was a Black feminist. So she was just basically describing how being a feminist is different than being a Black feminist is different than being a white feminist, because Black women have just overcome so much adversity, and we still face so much even today, being a double minority as one, but also just as she explained about like women entering the like when women first started working, and just how hard it was for it's particularly Black women when Black women entered the workforce, and how how the white women did not want to have to like share bathrooms or showers or lockers and things, just any type of amenity with them, and how a lot of the factories had to either choose to hire Black women or white women. But it's really good. If y'all haven't heard of it, it is. I don't know. A lot of people. I hate when this happens. Hold on. Like as you're talking, I'm sorry, but a lot of people oftentimes think the "Ain't I a Woman" line comes from Dr. Maya Angelou, and I think it actually came from the name of Bell Hooks' book. Maybe I wonder though if, because I saw a quote about it before, but at the time I didn't know who Bell Hooks was. But she did pass away this year, and that's when I really began to like hear that. So I don't know if that was the name they said that that quote originally came from, but that is the name of her book. What else have I been reading? When the Chicken Heads Come Home to Roost by Joan Morgan, I think is her last name. And that was really good. It's like based off the original Chicken Heads book. I never read that book. I had never even heard of it. So I actually want to find that book, and I tried checking on Audible for it, but I didn't see it. But the one I'm talking about now, When Chicken Heads Come Home to Roost, that one is actually available within the Audible subscription, like the Plus subscription or whatever. So you can listen to that one for free. And then it seems like there's something else. I was listening to oh gosh, I keep forgetting the name of this book. But the thing is, Audible moved the book from being within the subscription to now you got to pay for it, and I'm kind of upset about it. But I think his last name is Ruiz. His dad wrote a book too, but it's the one about attachments, like the 5 levels of attachment. I think that might be the name of it, and because his dad wrote the 4 Agreements, if you're familiar with that book. So I am I finished it, but I always went to sleep on it, so I didn't quite finish it, So I really want to go back and listen to it, but I'm gonna have to buy it. But I wish Audible would fix that or something, like, because I think it's very important now after that occurred that if you listen to a book within a subscription, make certain that you also add it to your library. Because I think if you didn't add it to the library, maybe that's the reason why they didn't actually allow me to keep the book. I don't know, but I think that is everything, y'all. So it's just I'm not a religious person or anything, so I have no type of scripture to insert here. But I will say, at one point, this was a time where I was really questioning God a lot, and and I was really like wondering what I had done wrong, even though I feel like, and I'm not saying this like as an egotistical person, but I really do be trying to do right by people. And I just try to, I really don't even have a lot of people to be doing anything wrong by. So it really wouldn't make a lot of sense for me to be doing wrong, if you get what I'm saying, right? So with that being said, I just try to do whatever the hell it is I'm supposed to be doing. And then for all of this stuff to occur, it was just like, okay, I don't know. But so much that God has removed from me, I feel like I had been waiting for a lot of this to have been removed. I had been waiting to be removed from my relationship or it be removed from me. But I was almost kind of like in I'm not going to say a comfortable state, but just kind of like, oh, well, if I do that, then, it ain't even, in some ways, it was kind of maybe people might think this or people might think that. And now it's just kind of like, you know what? Fuck them people. Basically, like, so that is a friend feeling. And I would like to have more of that. So that's why I've kind of just been like, you know what, God, like, while you're removing, just keep removing it, and I just hope to just fill all this up. And and that's another thing too, because I don't even want to fill everything up. I don't want to be weighed down by a lot. I have some other business opportunities, and like I've kind of talked about them, but even with those, I'm not going to admit I'm scared because I want to be flexible. But at the same time, I know in order for me to create that true wealth that I desire, I'm gonna have to diversify my streams of income, which means I'm gonna have to go back to like, whereas even though I'm saying this is a lot of work for me, because it is, but I do this, because I know this, I know what, and I just go. But this those other opportunities kind of require me to work more with other people, or also, well, yeah, it's the whole aspect of working more with other people. I'm not really good at that. I'm not used to trying to report stuff to anybody, really, anything like that. If I have an idea, I just go with it, or I tell everybody what I'm going to do, what we're going to do. Even though I do oftentimes, like with my closer team, I'll try to ask them for feedback, but oftentimes they don't really provide any. And now that is something that worries me, because I want people around me that will tell me, when, hey, this isn't making sense, or whatever the case may be. Don't forget to do so and so and so. Even though I don't necessarily like it, it is a good thing to have. And I think everybody needs that. So to just have people that are not quite as vocal kind of bothers me. But I said, everybody has their own thing going on, and I do get that as well. Because most of the people that work for me also have other jobs. This is their second job, but I still want it to be something that they care about because this is something that I care about. So, yeah. So that's kind of how things have been between days, maybe 40 through 70 something. And I do believe because just because I'm I don't know. A part of me is kind of like maybe you should even try to go longer. I do intend to keep doing the vlogs, but just also see if I can, keep removing and keep having things replaced that are even better. Like if I could continue that up. I know that that type of thing only happens in seasons, though, of course, but just but my point is I would like to show that to you all is what I'm basically trying to say. So I might actually go longer also because I feel bad because I did vlog every week the way I initially set out to do, if not more than that. But it was just like it just got really still, seems like it in my life. And now I feel like okay, I'm about to be moving again, so I'm excited about that. And I'm trying to work on some travel things so that I can do some traveling hopefully without between before the new year begins. But I'm not gonna lie, I have to figure out this client thing, like, or something. But at the same time, it's like because I haven't even been totally just pitching myself the way I had kind of been doing before. Because then at one point I was getting a lot of consults, but it get kind of tiresome. Like, hey, are you gonna do this or not? And it's hard to pitch yourself, especially like when you're in a position of need. That's possibly one of the worst times to be pitching yourself. And so I'm kind of looking forward to actually having some change and not having to be in that position and just being like, you know what, like, because but I have been setting my price and sticking to it. I have not, been trying to do, oh, I can do this discount for you, or no, you know what? Because at the end of the day, you're gonna expect the same results of had you paid full price. So because to you, you paid something. So I need to make certain that what your something is valuable enough to sustain me because I have a life as well as I have a team to take care of. And so that's just really how I've been looking at the situation. And in some ways, that too has also been freeing because I don't feel like I have to try to help everybody. I do need to work on it. And I need to work with one of my teammates on it as well. But I think I really need to see it for myself, because not everybody's going to be there for you when you're going through your own thing. Like people aren't going to be, oh, let me leave them a tip. No, I've never had anyone offer to leave us a tip or anything like that. So, so yeah. So, yeah, again, I do apologize for the time frame of this live, but I have just kind of enjoyed getting all of this out and just sharing, like, because this 90 days has been, and I'm so glad that I've journaled so much of it too, just my different range of emotions, like, so I can just look back and just really see how things went or transpired. But yeah, so peace and blessings, and y'all have a great week.